Hi everybody, what's going on? Welcome to Sit Down. I'm DJ Sixsmith. Dobrev in the house hanging out.
Hi.
Fam is on tonight. How are you?
I'm good. I'm really well. I'm in New York.
You just got here from all the way across the country, and you've been running around the city like a crazy woman today.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you're ready to just
It's
ease
nice
out of
though.
this
I
a little
woke
bit.
up. I went to bed last night in coldish, but basically warm weather compared to here. And it was snowing this morning when I woke up. So.
Wow. A little bit of a change for you.
Yeah, it's good. I like it.
Yeah. Well, it's been snowing in California a little bit too.
I heard about that, and that's crazy.
Yeah.
And yet, some authorities that run this country say that global warming isn't real. But
Yeah. Here's perfect evidence of that this week, right?
Yeah.
So speaking of crazy weather, take me back to growing up in Toronto and in Bulgaria, even before that. I mean, what was life like for you as a little girl in international waters?
Both places where there was a lot of snow for me growing up. Yeah, we didn't. I remember going to school in multiple feet of snow. Like
there were no snow days.
Snow days didn't exist unless, like, if the snow was higher than your body, like if it was above your head, then maybe you could stay home. But if it was below the chin,
you're out there.
You had to go.
You're going.
You had to walk through it. You had to have your little shovel and get it out of there.
That's quite interesting.
Yeah.
So I feel like Toronto is a really underrated city because people just focus on the cold, but it's a great place to go check out. And it was obviously an important time for you there. So how did you become an actress, and who were some of your people growing up that you were inspired by?
It is cold. So they're right. Those people.
Winters are rough.
That are saying
I went in the summer, so it was like a much different experience.
Yeah, it's like a different country altogether. Canadian winters versus Canadian summers. It's like a whole different place, and I love it in the summer. I shot XXX in January until June, and then from June until I think it was September, we shot Flatliners, and the two experiences were completely different based on just the weather.
Yeah, I bet.
But how did I get into this? I mean, I don't know. I was a overactive kid. I had too much energy, and my parents just tried to shove me in whatever
Get
free.
you in some after-school activities.
Yeah, it was like free community classes, and I gravitated towards performing and being artistic and being goofy and getting my energy out that way. And then when I went to high school, there was a theater program and a dance program, and I just kind of fell in love with it. Yeah.
And you've been doing it for a while now. I mean, you go from acting when you're 16 to being 30 now. I mean, it must have been a pretty crazy ride for you. So when you think about when you were first starting out, I mean, what would you do differently, or what would you tell that 16-year-old version of yourself just to expect about the crazy business?
To strip it down, maybe.
How so?
I think that, ironically, when I was younger and more beautiful, I was...
Wait, what are you talking about?
No, it's just I wore a lot of makeup, and I worked with, on a lot of projects and with a lot of artists that like to do a whole bunch of stuff.
I gotcha.
When I really didn't need it then. And as you get older, I feel like you should be wearing makeup as you get older to cover up wrinkles and things like that.
Yeah, and as a 16-year-old girl, it's kind of a lot to deal with. Not only just doing it, but having all that makeup on.
No, it just wasn't necessary.
I gotcha.
And I don't know, I feel like I've reversed in a weird way where as I'm getting older, I'm not maybe I just don't care as much.
Well, you should just be comfortable with who you are,
right? I think
right?
I'm maybe more comfortable with who I am now as I'm getting older. And then I was maybe trying to make up for some sort of insecurity. I don't really know, but
I gotcha. And I feel like life has changed too. 2019, you could just be makeup free, and that's totally fine.
That's right, Alicia Keys.
Yeah, perfect
Setting
example.
great examples.
But when you're a 16-year-old girl, you're just getting started in the industry, you want to look a little bit older, maybe you're getting a little bit more makeup,
Yeah, that and at the time, magazines, I would look at whatever the latest cover star was wearing. I'd be like, ooh, she's doing a cat eye, I gotta do that too. Instead of just being natural, and I wish I'd, anyway.
So was that a recent change for you, or has it kind of been over the last few years where you're just like, you know what, I'm gonna do me, I don't really care about anybody else?
Definitely over the last couple of years, yeah.
And what do you think made that change? Just being older, more confidence?
Probably, yeah.
I got you. And also having some footing in the industry too. I mean, you've done a lot of great projects. You've done TV, you've
Thank
done
you.
movies, you've worked with cool people. So you're probably feeling more established, you know, as opposed to just getting going in the business, right?
Maybe that's part of it, but also just different kinds of roles. I mean, I think I'm also wanting to play real characters and real people and just not, it's not so much about the glamour of it.
Yeah, you want some depth to the role.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and not doing the same role, you know, because I've heard you say in the past, like, you can really get pigeonholed in Hollywood. And you're somebody who likes to write, you like to think about the role. You don't want to just do the same thing over and over again.
No, I want to tell great stories and work with great directors and play characters that challenge me and that are different and keep it fresh and exciting. And so that's been the sole motivator my whole career, really.
Yeah, I understand that. And same thing with Fam. I mean, it was a sitcom. You hadn't done that.
No.
I read that you checked out The Big Bang Theory and Mom. Like, you went to the set to check it out. So when you first were exposed to it, what was most surprising? Because you said, like, the performance aspect, the audience, but what was the most uncomfortable thing about jumping into a sitcom?
How quickly everything moves, and the fact that the writers will come in after a take and give you completely brand new lines that you'll have to absorb in that moment and then shoot them out in front of a live audience for the first time. You're testing a joke, and the fear of potentially failing in that moment can be overwhelming, but for most of the time it actually works out really well. And when they're hearing a new line, it keeps things fresh, and the audience absolutely loves that.
Right, and the immediacy must be cool too, because for all your other shows, you're just in the studio, there's no audience. You don't even know how people are going to react to it. Instead, now people are laughing in the moment. That must be a cool thing for you to experience.
Yeah, and for our show, I've actually noticed in watching the episodes now that I feel like they've been dimming the laughter or like cutting it shorter, because I remember sometimes during some of the scenes, they were so funny. Tone was so great, and the chemistry between everyone, that the laughter would go on for such a long, uncomfortable amount of time.
And you just want to get going with the next line.
Yeah, and then obviously for the 22 minutes that we have to air the episodes, they have to like chop it up a lot and dim the laughter down.
So you and Tone go way back. I mean, what was that movie experience like when you guys worked together for the first time?
We worked together on a film, also a comedy, that was called Dog Days, and that was really fun because it was Tone's first ever feature film. And he asked me to kind of take him under his wing, take him under my wing, and it was the reverse experience on the show because I had never done a sitcom, and I begged him to give me some advice.
Full circle right there.
Yeah,
really
yeah. So we've always had each other's backs, which is nice.
I got you.
It's great to have a supportive teammate.
Yeah, somebody that you can trust, somebody that you've been in this thing with before.
Yeah.
And you get to do it in a little bit of a different way.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. So with Fam, obviously your living situation is an interesting one. You, your fiance, half-sister. What has been your craziest living situation in your life?
My craziest living situation has to have been when I went to college in Toronto. I lived in a townhouse right in the center of the city near the campus. So I didn't do the dorm thing. I ended up getting a house with, I think, 1, 2, 3 roommates. I was the 4th. And it was 3 dudes and me.
Oh, wow.
And I lived in the basement. I got like the scrappy, not seconds, thirds, but like the 4th. It was.
That sounds pretty rough.
I lived, yeah, it was, I'm pretty sure there was mold on the ceiling.
Yeah, when you're living in the basement, it's not good air circulation.
And the basement wasn't like, it wasn't a full floor basement. It was like.
Barely a basement?
It was probably a closet that was down. It was a storage room.
But you're living off campus, you're in college.
I was fine with it. I loved it. I thought it was the best. It was the best, worst place I've ever been in my whole life. And I had a blast with the boys, and we were all really close and celebrated all kinds of things. It was really fun. And it's funny because since then, one of the other guys ended up becoming a pretty successful actor, and one of the other guys was a screenwriter, and like everyone, and then somebody else moved in and took my place, and then they became successful, and then somebody else moved out. So basically, I guess someone told me recently that that house has been nicknamed like the Melrose Place of Toronto.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
And I mean, it must be cool for you too to think about those people at that point in your life and just the people that you grew up in the industry with now, 15 years later, seeing them do all this different stuff. So who are some other people that, you know, were auditioning for similar roles or that you became friendly with when you were a teenager and still have those friendships with?
Paula Brancati is a friend of mine who we were on the show together, Degrassi, and we still are very, very, very close now. She's considered one of my best friends.
Nice.
Obviously, Drake, who everyone knows about already. Don't feel like I need to elaborate more on that one. His name sort of...
No, I think people kind of understand.
Yeah.
I think when people see his character in Degrassi and see him now, maybe they're a little jarred, but I'm sure you kind of realize that
I mean, yeah, that's
he
like...
had the goods at that point.
Google anyone or go through anyone's high school yearbook and tell me that they don't look drastically different.
Exactly. And that was such a long time ago, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to relax.
I like that. So one thing I'm interested in, you've obviously done a lot of great parts. Is there a part that you look at and think to yourself, man, I wish I could have gotten that one, like a show or a movie, when you look back on, like, it became a great thing and it just didn't work out for whatever reason?
You know, I don't think we have enough time in the day, and I am jet lagged. There's like, I mean, for every audition that you go in on and succeed and get the role, there's about 99 that you don't get.
Right, that's the nature of the business.
If I had to
probably be here for a lot longer.
Yeah.
Maybe next time you come through, we'll unpack that one. So when people check out Fam, obviously great cast, really funny. What do you want them to walk away thinking?
I want them to walk away laughing, or I actually don't really want them to walk away. I want them to sit there and then click that little thing that says the next episode is going to start in 10 seconds. Would you like to continue watching? And then not even wait the 10 seconds, but click watch now.
So just stop your lives.
And then just like, no, just stop your live and watch the show. Just binge watch all of it. That's what I want.
I like it. Well, Nina, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Fam is on tonight. Check it out on CBS. We'll see you next time here on The Sit Down.